All right, welcome to the community stream. We're just going to wait for some people to arrive. Hey, No Tilt TV. Welcome. Guess I'm solo casting for a little while. Let me see if I can get a list of our games ready that have been queued up for the week. Testing. You're here, Merc. All right, so today is the 19th, so anywhere from the 12th on, I should be grabbing games. Throw them in text pad for now. Copy, paste. One game. Two games. Okay, this game I'm not sure if it should count because apparently it's a Micro Machine Victory. 3, 4, 5, and 5 games we got loaded up. Or I will load up, I guess.
How's it going?
There. Hey, Grip. How's it going, man?
Yeah, not too bad.
Getting the game ready to load.
Sorry?
All right. 1, 2. So we are in off season now.
Yeah, sorry, as
Good thing. No games running anyway.
audio.
That'll be
Oh,
the first.
yeah, it's officially the off season, but we're getting there. We're in the middle of the switch over so that SC2 AI will now become AI Arena, and we're going to sync up on everything hopefully this week, and probably do a lot of work on it at the weekend, and then hopefully we'll be able to start new games after that.
Yeah. Probably no rush. So make sure it's done correctly. Test a little bit.
You'll have to
No
excuse me
reason to
for
jump
one
into the next
second.
season quickly. Yeah.
I just have a cat attacking me. Or more
Happens.
precisely, he's attacking my headphone wires. Okay, I think that's sorted. Good. Sorry.
How does your furniture hold up to having a cat? That was I'm
Too bad.
pondering the decision of getting a cat or not.
She's only been living with me like 3 weeks now, but she seems to be enjoying it and
Okay.
finding lots of wires to attack. She's more keen on wires than she is on furniture.
Hmm.
Um,
That
so
could be
yeah,
dangerous for.
yeah, I have
Bite,
to make
bite, zap.
sure I turn the plug sockets off when I leave them.
What's that movie? National Lampoon's Christmas Vacation or something? Yeah. Don't let that happen.
So
You'll want a black cat-shaped stain on the ground.
she's a tiny little black cat, so it's perfect. But anyway,
All right, so I
yeah,
think we'll move into the first game because
that
I
sounds
don't know,
good.
Bomb Shaker's not looking too good. One auto turret at a time versus all purple map.
Yeah, yeah, that's going to take a while for him to play through.
Okay, so I didn't actually write down what these games are. I know one of them is Micro Machine winning, so we better have at least one Micro Machine loss going on
We
here.
don't have a Micro Machine loss. Does that mean he automatically wins like the entire season? I don't know.
I don't know. I think it's probably the end of the community stream at that point, though.
Yeah.
Why is my resolution so low? 480.
Good.
All right, so first match is on Submarine, and it is. Oh, we got Spud in chat here too. Hey, Spud.
Hello.
Bomb
There we go.
Shaker and Chaos Bot.
Nice.
So more Ravens.
Is the mic okay? I'm on a laptop.
Yeah, I think it's okay.
Yeah, that's okay.
Oh, hey Tia. Chat. Come join us in the voice comms. Yeah, I have like what I've seen from Bomb Shaker actually. It's quite a fun game.
Yeah, he's the original Master Raven player. Wonder how
Yeah.
he gets into it. So it looks like he goes gas barracks, second gas. So he stays on one base for a little while.
Yeah. Yeah, I think it's just a fast build up to Ravens and then expand after that, isn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, the odd thing is, like, I play Master Raven as a human player as well. But the weird thing is, to play Master Raven, you actually take your gas much later than a typical Terran does.
Okay.
Because the bottleneck to Ravens isn't getting gas quickly, it's getting a lot of gas. And to get a lot of gas, you got to expand a lot, which requires a lot of minerals.
Yeah, that makes sense. So you're not quite as greedy as the additional pylons, 3 Nexus before you make a gateway build.
No, I don't do the 7 Nexus on 1 Stalker opener.
That's quite a fun one.
Actually, I do go 4 bases with a single Banshee versus Zerg, though. You can actually pull that off if you go
Wow.
planetaries, because Zerg doesn't really have any offensive anti-air.
Yeah.
So even a single Banshee can really keep them in the background for quite a while.
Yeah. I mean, you've got queens and like spores, but nothing really that's going to scare you.
Yeah, but it's hard to get those on the offense.
Yeah.
You can proxy hatch or get a quick Nidus or something. You can get those across, but then you got to deviate a bit.
Yeah. Cool.
Or like Cyril does like a Dropper Lord and brings queens in it when he's facing like a Stargate Protoss player. So he's like ferrying queens to the offense.
Yeah,
nice Liberator setup.
I still need to watch the final of the last chance tournament. I still haven't watched that yet. I was going to watch it on Sunday, but ended up getting distracted by doing our own stream.
I saw the results, so it looks like a pretty dramatic series.
Yeah. I'll have to look at that. But obviously, yeah, Cyril, no match for our bots.
So this is the checkmate game from last week. So Chaos Bot, another. Was it last week that we saw Chaos Bot for the first time? Or am I getting mixed up?
No, I think Chaos Bot's been around for a while, hasn't he? So.
Not sure. It says this is the checkmate game we had last week. Oh wait, we saw this last week?
I don't know. I don't remember it.
I kind of grabbed games after the tier message from last week, so maybe I grabbed one that we already saw. We need to back up here.
I'm not sure what he means by the checkmate game, but
I missed the beginning of last week's stream.
Yeah,
he posted it on the 12th, so we probably already saw this. So let's go ahead and hop to the next one. Well, we've gone this far. We may as well do the rest of it.
Yeah, I mean, we may as well see the end of it now. I mean, we're invested, man. This is what you don't get the emotional payoff of seeing who wins, whatever.
We got proxies all over the place from Chaos. Looks like he built something at his third, but that's not a base.
Yeah.
And then a couple other proxies up in the 2 o'clock position.
So it's just a Stargate up there, isn't it?
Let's click on that Liberator.
Yeah.
No. Oh, I got another Liberator doing massive kills too. 18 kills on that one Liberator. 25 on the other. Oh man.
I can see that poor Marine just wants to get in range to kill it, but just can't. No, we need to go around the back.
Actually, we can move on at this point. There's no
Yeah, I
workers
think we
left.
can. We might as well go.
Next match. So I believe this is the Micro Machine versus someone match.
A Micro Machine win. I don't know if we can take it. Oh, it's spiny, it looks like.
I mentioned to Laughing Games, he's a YouTuber who casts like SC2 games. I mentioned to come to the stream channel to find good games because that's where we post the games we want to show. So for someone who only knows bots by watching casts on his channel, they must think the Micro Machine is one of the worst bots out there. Because if he's used to grabbing games from this channel, it's probably only Micro Machine losses that he's viewing.
Yeah, I did try to get him to cast some of his games for the tournament, but I think he was a bit too busy for that, so it's a shame.
He did 1 week with ProBots, so
yeah, that's cool.
He's aware of the scene a little bit at least.
Yeah, hopefully he'll do a few more with them. Because yeah, I mean, we've got the gauntlet coming up, or the showcase, or whatever they want to call it now. I'll call it the gauntlet.
I wonder if we can get that Craig Olsen guy to cast anything.
Oh, that would be
He's like a really up and coming SC2 caster.
Yeah.
But he's new enough that maybe we can still get him for free. I don't know.
Hopefully.
Once they become too big, they expect a salary if they're going to cast anything.
Yeah, no, it'd be. Yeah, I think I've heard him a few times, so yeah, it'd be great to get him on.
I believe his name is Craig Olsen, no tilt.
Yeah.
But at this point, I think he did DreamHack, so he might be too big. But he just kind of came out of nowhere. He was like super hype and exciting, so he caught on really quick. People really liked him.
Yeah. I'm gonna just go and grab myself a drink quickly. I'll be back in a sec.
Yeah, no problem. So Spiny and Micro Machine, yeah, to the top bots here. A little bit of Ling Micro going on. That's kind of neat. I mean, that Ling Micro is kind of one step away from being pro level. So Zergs these days, as pros, they don't lose any slow Lings to a Reaper. They just keep pushing the Reaper back off of creep, and then they pull the Ling back when the Ling gets low. And at the end of the fight, they end up with like 6 Lings in the red, but nothing actually dies. So Spiny was doing the pushing off creep and the pulling back, but he just needed to save the Ling, like keep the Lings really far away when they're low. But that said, in some ways, the Micro Machine Lings are more annoying than a pro player's Lings.
Yeah.
Maybe not in their like perfect decision making, but the fact that they're always harassing. There's no breaks being taken to macro at home or something like that.
Does Micro Machine, like, have you noticed, does it realize that there's creep and use it in the pathfinding for the Reapers or no?
My guess would be no, but I don't know for sure. He doesn't seem to favor finding an off creep path or staying off of creep. He doesn't even seem to be concerned that the speed is done on the Zerglings.
Yeah. That's when the Reaper's pretty much got to get out of there.
Yeah. If I were Micro Machine, it'd be pretty simple. You could actually, you got to detect speed somehow because you can't visually get it through the API, but you can kind of probably figure it out somehow. And if you figure it out, just stop your Reaper production for the rest of the game. It's like a good time to stop making them.
Normally queens can hold it quite well as well, but then obviously the queens can't chase you off creep.
Yeah, and the Reaper usually arrives before the first queen. That's why you need to kind of protect your drones with Lings to start off with.
So yeah, Micro Machine trying to get some work done with the Banshee, but it looks like it's pretty much covered there. Like, I don't know how. I'm guessing the Spore can see everything in that base there.
Can definitely see
Just
everything.
about.
It can't
Yeah.
shoot everything,
Yeah.
but it's difficult to get your bot to kind of poke away at those drones that you can just barely get to.
Yeah.
Because if you get too close to the Spore, and then the way like the delay between frames and stuff, you can end up having your Banshee constantly fly into the Spore range, which you don't want.
Mhm.
But if you give it too much of a buffer, then you don't end up shooting anything in the drone line.
Yeah. It's difficult balance to strike.
Yeah. Like my bot, like if there's a single Spore in the middle of the drone line, I'm probably shooting no drones, even though it's technically possible to.
Yeah, it looks like there's 2 Spores in the middle of the main there. So it's
Yeah, he's getting a second one now, at least in the main base. Spores are nice because they don't really interrupt your mining. Or missile turrets you can like trap workers, and they're just big blocky units, where Spores have nice curved corners, so they don't really block anything.
Yeah.
So army size is well in Spiny's favor. I mean, a lot of it's just Zerglings.
Yeah, but he probably needs to get something done, I'd imagine. Just
Yeah.
go over there and try and get some damage. It's got more workers as well, but you'd expect that with Zerg at the moment.
Nice little Hellion count out of Micro Machine is smart.
Yeah.
I wonder if that's reactive to seeing the large Zergling count. Because often we'll see things like Marauders and Cyclones and the more mechy units out of Micro Machine.
No, I
which
think
don't fare so well versus Zerglings.
He just wants some fried Zergling.
Yeah. Tasty.
Barbecued.
So Micro Machine gives a little bit of weight to creep for pathfinding.
Yeah.
But he says he doesn't see it making a difference. Or at least not too much of one.
Yeah, it's probably one of those ones that you don't. It's very difficult to program in because you don't want to just avoid creep entirely because you'd never get anywhere near the base. But how you balance that with your pathfinding is probably pretty difficult.
I wonder if there'd be a way to. No, never mind. Interesting. He's using the mutas almost as like a cleanup, Banshee cleanup usage.
They're pretty good at
rather
that.
than anything offensive. Yeah, I mean they're faster than Speed Banshees by quite a bit. That's if the Speed Overlord can keep up, or the Overseer, I mean, which is slower.
Yep.
You can kind of see the siege tanks getting better and better from Micro Machine.
Yeah, it's definitely something that's improving quite fast.
It's something like when he first added it to his bot, it almost felt like a downgrade.
Yeah.
Because now all of a sudden you just have these like siege tanks wandering off and dying on their own. But they seem a lot smarter now, at least versus Zerg here. They're taking nice defensive positions and not just wandering to death.
I need to nip off, make a phone call quickly. Back in a sec.
No problem.
Damn, did I make him go away? Was it me? Good evening, guys.
Hey, a lot.
What's up?
We're just watching Spiny versus MM here.
Yeah, and it looks really, really close. Like the supply is dead even. The income is dead even. Everything is dead even. I guess Spiny might have a slight lead somewhere.
Yeah. I feel like Micro Machine hasn't taken any sort of damage really. So you kind of got away with being surviving on a low army count.
Well, because
I would
he
suspect
had
that would mean he's ahead, but yeah, when you look at the stats now, it looks pretty even, I guess.
Spiny
well,
has lost
Spiny
like
did lose
an
more, but
overlord.
Yeah, he's getting his
Sorry, what?
overlords wrecked.
yeah. I don't get why more Terrans don't do the search and like one Viking with the search and destroy logic to clean up all of the overlords that are rude enough to not be close to home.
Genzi does it
Which-
well.
Yeah.
My bot
Okay.
does it, but once it loses vision of the overlord, it stops shooting it. So I gotta program it a little bit
Oh.
better. So I'll like shoo them away and send home like half health overlords everywhere. So at least I deny
Well,
the vision, I guess, which is the point of them
yeah,
being out
yeah.
on the map.
That's the initial reasoning, actually. Not to supply block the Zerg, to deny intel, but while you're there, you might as well finish off the overlords, you know?
Yeah.
Uh,
On the other side of the coin, I think it might be a good idea for Rasper to stop sending out overlords once he sees like a Viking or a Phoenix or whatever the cleanup air unit is.
That's fine, but then your objective is complete. He doesn't have overlords near your bases having an eye from the sky over everything you do, right? That's
Yeah.
what you want, essentially. You want him to work for Intel, not to just get it freely.
I think what happened is Rasper was able to calculate all those overlord positions on the map. You know, those little high ground spots where the overlord hides. So
Yeah, he
once he
did
figured that out, he
with-
just kind of did a generic send overlords to all these positions. And
Yep.
against certain Terrans, that works against him.
It's actually, yeah, it went over under the radar against many.
Hmm.
Anyway, we have such crazy updates coming, guys. I can't wait to tell you about stuff. Soon we're going to test a new cluster in Rancher and Kubernetes on a bare metal server, which already is looking. I already ran a few test games on it, and they all ran really well.
All right. Can you dumb that down a little bit? What does that mean? You ran what on what server?
We have a new bare metal server that
bare metal server.
Yeah, it's like a literal machine, like your machine that you're using right now.
Oh, I see what you're saying.
We
Not a virtual server.
rent it, not a virtual, exactly, because a virtual server has much more limitations. Bare metal server, we have like 90 giga of RAM memory on that machine, I think, and a bunch of other sick numbers. Yeah. So right now, Ladi is working on the multi-competition and division. I'm working on deploying the cluster to a suitable bare metal machine with the Kubernetes stack. And Dan is working on I wish he was here to explain it because he can explain it much better than me. But basically, a very friendly interface for new authors to get like a bundle of everything they need to get started without having to go through installing different libraries and going through all that. Like a Docker image that just give them the tools out of the box. Like whatever, if you're a Java author, you get all the Java dependencies, for example. You don't need to I'm not sure how hard it is to get started with Java, but we see that with Python, for example, people sometimes get stuck on stupid things, and rightfully so, because they need to know like a lot of internal stuff that you only learn after you get started.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's
anyway,
I'm sure it's that way for all the APIs. Yeah.
So yeah, hopefully we will be able to coordinate all of those things and push them out at the same time, which will be amazing.
And there's been so many Overlord deaths this game. Every time I look up, there's a scene Overlord dying.
Yeah. It's Overlord genocide, and the observer is loving it. Like, it's like, give me more Overlords. That's what I want to see right now.
40 Overlords have
Because
died. Oh my goodness. So they're not even fighting, but he's lost 4,000 resources.
Hey, Loco Puyo. Did the Micro Machine bother with cleaning creep? Okay, I got my answer, I guess. He does, which is great. He should. Because if he didn't, he just did. He just scanned and cleared a few tumors here. If he didn't,
scanned to
I
clear
would.
tumors?
Yeah.
I didn't know he did that.
I didn't know either, but I just saw it with my own eyes. If he didn't,
did there happen to be any burrowed units on that creep? Because that might have been what he was scanning for.
Oh, then yeah. Actually, Raf is saying it's for borrowed units.
I see.
Then I have no idea how there is no creep yet in his outer bases, like the fifth, this one. It's already in creep. How is the CC even here? I mean, if he's not clearing any. Oh, he's using Raven. Okay.
Yeah, it looks like a Raven with a Cyclone or two. Not sure. How he decided to split up his army that way.
Yeah. This group of units is very not ordinary, but it's looking for creep tumors, which I like. A battle cruiser, a Raven, and a Cyclone.
It could just be that the Raven detects a creep tumor, and then whatever units are nearby take that as an acquired target. So maybe he's not even purposely peeling off some units to deal with creep. It might just be naturally happening.
Yeah,
just with detection and target acquisition.
Yeah, it makes more sense than deciding I want my creep demolition team to be a Raven, a battle cruiser, and a Cyclone. Because
maybe that would be good. Because I was thinking about that because I have like a expansion killing squad, which it can be a squad, but right now it's just a Raven. So if there's a burrowed Zergling or a creep at a base, I'll send a Raven over and I'll kind of clean it up with an auto turret. And I'm like, but what if I don't just do this for expansions? What if I just kind of travel around the edge of the creep and just like pick off all the fresh creep tumors?
Yeah, you should.
It wouldn't be that expensive. It wouldn't hurt your army that much, and it might be really powerful. I don't know.
It gives you very precious map control, and it takes away from the Zerg map control, which in my eyes is very, very important. Zerg depends on it very much.
I like the idea because I like any idea that's like not viable for a human, but a bot can pull it off. And that's one of those things you can't always be microing like a small creep killing squad as a human, but a bot can easily do it.
If you don't count the top GSL Terrans, then yeah. But they somehow manage to clear creep while doing everything else at the same time. Like have the Hellion and the Reapers up front, holding the creep away and still macroing and whatnot.
Yeah, at the beginning of the game, but once they hit the mid game, they're only clearing creep with their army. They bring their army up, they scan, they clear some creep. They don't really hang out on the edge of the creep besides the start of the game.
Yeah, the main idea is to deny the creep as much as you can before it gets to your natural base. That's the main purpose, is the way I see it, of the early Hellion and that joined the Reaper in DVZ. Yeah. I know you, Katrok, don't get Hellions. I think you don't get Hellions, right? You skip them all the way?
Not like early game Hellions the way they do it. Yeah, the Terran does it because they can get map control early in the game. The Hellions and the Reapers can kill basically anything that's not on creep, so they might as well just take control of the map until the Zerg gets an actual force out.
Exactly, put pressure on the Zerg for free, essentially. Because Zerg cannot do anything about it until he gets speed and maybe some higher tech units.
Queens kind of lose their effectiveness versus battlecruisers once BCs get upgraded. Although, as I say that, he loses a battlecruiser to Queens.
No, he teleported out, I think.
Well,
I'm pretty sure.
I'm watching the live.
Oh,
Give it a second.
Yeah, I'm a few seconds behind. Yeah, okay.
Yeah.
There was one just dying over the Overlord spot. Overlord spot. Sorry, my English is horrible today.
I don't even understand the concept of being able to speak multiple languages. Like if you don't grow up with it, it just seems like such an impossible task.
It's not. It feels like that when you start, but eventually it becomes a second nature, just like speaking your first language, one you were born with. It's all about practice. I mean, it's still easier for me to write in English than to speak in English because I can pronounce correctly everything. But yeah.
Yeah, I had a friend who he went to Japan to teach English. You know, some people do that. And he got put in a place that had no other English speakers. So he didn't have like other teachers he could discuss with. So the first year was like the worst year of his life. And then by the second year, he was like more fluent in Japanese than people who study their whole lifetime are.
Yeah, exactly.
It's like when you're forced to use nothing but a foreign language, you learn it pretty quite fast.
Yeah, it starts with the words like food and bathroom, and then you go from there. You know.
Yeah.
I think baños was the first word I learned in Spanish. Baños is bathroom, in case anybody doesn't know. It reminds me of that Deadpool scene where he has this Spanish catchphrase, "Donde es la biblioteca?" which is where is the library, but he thinks it is like some badass catchphrase. And he keeps playing the entire movie. Before he kills them, like, "Donde es la biblioteca?" Pow! Raf says he's currently learning Greek with Duolingo, and he doesn't know the name for the word for bathroom. You see, that's because if you went to Greece, that would be one of the first words you would learn for sure. Fun fact: I'm a quarter Greek.
See, if Raf takes a vacation to Greece, he just needs to hold it. You can pee on the flight home.
Yeah. They don't have bathrooms in Greece. They just keep it. Oh, nice, Vikings land. I was wondering if that's a thing or not.
Yeah, Raf was saying the Micro Machines building far too many Vikings, and I'd have to agree. I'm not sure what they're built for. There's a few mutas early, maybe a few corruptors to deal with the battlecruisers, but that's a lot of Vikings.
But since recent changes, when I was a player, Vikings on the ground were pure garbage. But since recent changes, Vikings kind of kick ass on the ground. At least it feels like that to me. They actually kill stuff. They actually can fight.
Yeah, they haven't changed at all. But the one redeeming quality they do have on the ground is they do about 80% more damage to mechanical. So not relevant in TVZ, but man, can they fry like an SCV line or a probe line so quickly.
Or fight the Protoss units. They don't become useless when you kill all of the Colossi, right?
Yeah. I mean, even with the bonus of mechanical, they're still like glass cannons are pretty weak and they're fat and chunky and slow. But, you know, if you have ground units and you have nothing to do with your Vikings, might as well land them.
Well,
I wonder if it's the overlords that cause too many Vikings to get made. Sometimes, like if you're basing your Viking count based on the amount of air units you're up against, maybe the overlords are the bad choice.
Did Spiny? I didn't follow. Did Spiny did not build any air units other than Overlords, like Corruptors?
He had some
or
mutas
whatever?
early. I assume he made Corruptors for the battlecruisers, but I didn't actually see them. But I wasn't
And
paying
is
attention
there
too closely.
a Greater Spire? Because if MM scouted Greater Spire, it justifies keeping a high Viking count or a decent Viking count at least.
Well, let's take a look at the units lost. Let's see what he made. He had 3 mutas, 4 broodlords.
Yeah,
I
okay.
guess that means he had 4 corruptors at some point too.
And
And 8
also
vipers.
Also, the presence of Greater Spire, which justifies, in my mind, for a Terran to have a few Vikings at least. Like, you can't give
Yeah.
up. Because there can tech switch at any point. Like, as soon as
Yeah.
those Vikings are dead, he can, bam, go full air.
But Greater Spire isn't really a threat to your air. Right? Spire is a threat to your air. Greater Spire, like, you don't need 1 million Vikings to kill broodlords. Like, in fact, if you have air superiority, all you need is 1 over. Obviously, you want more than that, but yeah, you don't
but
want to
usually
overbuild versus air
broodlords
units
are,
that can't even shoot air. Yeah.
yeah,
Like, if
but
the goal
usually
of the
broodlords
Vikings is
are,
just to protect the battle cruisers, then
I'm not sure if that is the goal. I think the Vikings are to control the air, to have dominancy up high, which is why Spiny, I assume, why Spiny is not making any air units, because it seems like a too uphill battle for him, for it.
I think for my bot versus broodlords, I build 2 Vikings per broodlord, and then I cap it at 6. If I'm ever at 6 Vikings, I don't even care how many more broodlords he gets. I'm like 6 is enough.
Okay, you're assuming he only makes broodlords, but let me take you back in time a bit to Wings of Liberty, the most broken composition ever. Broodlord Infestor with Corruptors. I have a feeling bots can make it work on this patch pretty well.
Yeah.
With Fungals and whatnot. So if the Broodlords are alone, yeah, 1 Viking is enough. But if they have proper support, which I don't see why they shouldn't have, you need first to be able to fight the Corruptors and the Vipers and the
Yeah, I mean, obviously I build Vikings for other units as well, including Corruptors. But the Broodlords alone, if I have 6, I don't really care how many Broodlords he makes beyond that. I don't make any more Vikings. But if he's got Corruptors, then I'll add more Vikings. And
so
again, the greater Spire doesn't mean Corruptors. The greater, you can do that with a regular Spire. The Greater Spire means Broodlords. I don't know.
Yeah. I understand you. It's totally legit. I think if you don't see the Corruptors, if you only see the Broodlords, you shouldn't like go apeshit with Vikings. It might be even a mistake, a very bad mistake, even. I think it makes sense what you're saying. But you do need to have like 3 starports. Well, in your case, you have like 10, but as a normal Terran, you need to have like 3 starports just in case you need to pump out Vikings very fast.
Yeah. That's something to do when you max out with your bot, is just add production. Even though you're already maxed, you don't need to build any units then. You're going to be floating resources, and that's a good time to up your production count. So when you do need to pump out a bunch of units at once, you have the production available for it.
Oh, MM doesn't build Liberators.
Oh, he's just got some keep your starport busy code. So
probably.
if he doesn't want Liberators and the starport's available, he does keep making Vikings.
Chaos Bot and tier. I mean, Chaos Bot is so random. I enjoy watching that bot so much. It's like, I'm going to put my barracks here. It's not even blocking the base. It's like the most arbitrary position you can think of. It's in his face, you can see it, and it's not blocking anything.
Probably some sort of random function being used on that location.
Yeah, probably.
Pick a random spot that's, 30 to 60 distance away from the enemy base.
And now 2 more bunkers. Nice.
Tyr is like got a train of SCVs chasing another SCV, which
Yeah,
is
that's
somehow protecting his SCVs from the Reaper at the same time.
the thing is, this overreaction to the patrolling SCV is costing him a lot of income.
Yeah, I think the overreaction is because of the bunker. Oh, now he bugged out. His workers aren't doing anything. He probably saw a bunker and just A moved a bunch of SCVs, and they all ended up chasing the Reaper.
Oh, that's actually that makes sense.
Yeah, that's a dead Tyr. But when he killed the bunker, all the SCVs just stopped doing anything. Even the ones that were chasing the Reaper stopped. So it's some sort of bug. He's probably crashing every frame right now.
Oh, that sucks.
Did you just repair the mule? Yeah, I saw that. The SCVs weren't doing anything until it saw an injured mule. And it's like, oh, okay, now we won't be bugged anymore. We'll repair this mule.
Yeah, gotta keep the mule alive, you know.
My SCVs are dumb like that too. They'll start repairing auto turrets, which are just about to expire anyways.
Yeah. You need some do not repair this table. I can't think of any scenario. Maybe some really weird edge cases where you would want to repair an auto turret just because it's utilized as a force field, like blocking a path or something. Not because you want to keep an auto turret alive.
So I think I'm gonna move on. Tyr's mineral income is down to 1 SCV, and that SCV keeps dying to the Reaper. So game is over.
Yeah.
There's some code that keeps SCVs from being assigned to bases that are under attack. I need to fix
That's
it
an
so they'll
interesting
ignore
edge
that
case.
if all the bases are under attack. Yeah, true. I'm currently writing some code that abandons my main base when it's under attack. Like if I have a planetary somewhere else, it's just okay trying to send a train of SCVs to
And
a safe
everything
base.
there.
Yeah.
Oh, this game is hilarious. I couldn't stop laughing when I'm not gonna spoil it to you guys. Just watch.
You spoiled the hilarity.
I envision this SUV walks with 2 middle fingers up in the air and like look at me, fuck you, fuck you, fuck you, fuck you, fuck you. That's what the SUV is doing right now. And then he brings his friends. This only gets better, by the way.
I wonder if that barracks position will trap an SCV. If he doesn't rally that, oh, never mind. He's not even keeping it there. It's got a new home. Oh, this is probably hard coded to the map. I think he's going to create a little marine wall.
Well, I don't know if it's hard coded or not, but it's brilliant. And
yeah, look at that. It's a safe wall. So if you pulled all your drones right now, you won't be able to get at that SCV.
yeah,
so the repairing SCV is safe, and then any marines you produce immediately before the bunker's
and
down are safe.
and he floats the barracks from the low ground. I love it. I will
the only
build
issue
a
is
base.
it doesn't actually do anything. Oh, he's got the SCV as the idiot magnet.
Yeah.
Like, the Zerglings acquire the SCV and then chase it towards the bunker. Although you got it before the bunker that time.
Look, Blanty doesn't know what to do. Look at the units. They are like, what we don't know what to do.
That is, I have issues with that with my bot too. It's such a problem. Like, if you say chase the closest unit, you get that bouncing all the time because the frame you give the command, and then by the time you get to the next frame, your position has changed, so the closest unit could have changed, and you end up like just
Yeah,
bouncing
yeah.
back and forth between two units constantly. And even if you like add more weight to maintaining the same
There is
target,
a
it can still
siege
happen.
tank there. There is a siege tank, and the siege tank is really in a prime spot. Like
Yeah.
this is, I guess this is hard-coded positions because those
Yeah.
positions are really good.
Yeah, I mean the whole strategy can work on any map. All you got to do is hard code the positions. As long as there's somewhere you can wall off with a bunker and a barracks, and then it's close to low ground, so you can include a siege tank.
And put it like in a tight corner like this.
Yeah, yeah. Too bad the SCV wasn't commanded to stay there. If he stayed in that pocket, he could have
Yeah,
hung out there and repaired that
repaired
bunker indefinitely.
forever. Yeah, there are a few errors here. I think Chaosbot should. I'm going to spoil the game to you guys. Chaosbot loses this eventually, but he got his lead, his edge in such an entertaining way. I really like this game.
Mm-hmm. The other thing that would be nice at a Chaos Bot would be getting those Widow Mines in the mineral line. If you're going to be building Widow Mines in your opponent's base, you really want to take advantage of that by throwing them directly in the mineral line.
Yeah, definitely.
It looks like he had a bug. He didn't make the starport. I guess there's supposed to be a step 3 to that containment. Maybe a Liberator gets set up there or something.
Actually, Liberator would have been deadly over that bunker and tank.
Yeah. Depends how smart the Queen pathfinding. Yeah, I guess actually the tank would probably cover the Liberator from the Queens.
The tank we already saw. Yeah, we already saw Dominion Dog. How we can how we can complement these units together. Like tank covers the Liberator covers the tank.
And even though Liberators outrange the Queen, if the Queen has like somewhat smart pathfinding, it can kind of move along the edge of the liberation zone until it finds an angle where it can hit the lib.
Yeah, and that's why the tank is there.
Yeah,
to
the tank would prevent
rain
that. Bunty is one of those Zerg bots. We got a few Zerg bots that are like number 30, number 40 on the ladder, and they really look comparable to Spiny.
Yeah.
Like they're probably just like some refinements away from really being powerhouses. It's like they use tons of units, they expand well, they spread creep well.
I guess. Well, Spud is on push to talk. I can hear myself. You can see that Blunty is not prioritizing workers. He's only on 35 SCVs on 5 bases right now. Not SCVs, drones. Which is an issue, a big issue. You should have a booming economy at this point.
I was just about to say that, like, I think the difference is with this Zergs, like a big difference is just that how well do you sort of deal with a lot of early stuff that comes your way. Like Spiny seems to, like, if it's that high, it seems to win against most early game stuff that it has to deal with. But then, like there's a lot of bots that they seem fine when you don't sort of abuse them. But then, like there's loads of bots that have like 10 different 1 base or 2 base attacks, and then they might
And
break.
basically every bot on the ladder is either like a really powerful top of the ladder bot or a super cheesy in your face bot. So I can see Zerg having issues with both of those.
Yeah, and Micro Machine is both.
Yeah.
He is a very powerful top of the ladder bot that is always in your face.
Yeah, but he's not cheesy. He's like, yeah, it's not my fault you lost an entire game to a single Reaper. I'm expanding a gnome. This is my cheese. That's on you.
Yeah. He gets so much done with so little. That's true. Yeah, Blanty definitely lacks the income. He should be maxed out at this point, in my opinion. He should have like 80 drones, 90 drones, and maxed out on army. And the only reason is craving minerals. Look, is like spending it as soon as it comes because he only has these many drones.
Isn't Planty one of Infish bots, or no?
Yes, it is. But it's not really working on it. It's like just a showcase of Sharpie, I think, mostly.
Chaosbot could use a function to decide how many workers to put in the refinery. Oh no, he has that already. I can see the refinery's down to 0 workers. Yeah, because he's floating a lot of gas, so it's smart to take the workers out of gas.
Yeah, definitely.
Looks like these mutas are getting a ton of work done. Hanging out near the production too, which is always death to a Terran player. As a unit pops out, it dies. But a couple missile turrets got up there.
They can contest the turrets, and not these two, but the one in the natural. They can definitely kill it and just wreak havoc there.
Yeah. I was about to say near the production, but I forgot this is Chaosbot, and this production is all over the map.
Yeah.
Production does not belong in the main base. That's just one of the random locations it could be.
Yeah, if you see a barracks in his main base, it's
probably a bug.
it's random. It's random. It's not meant to be there. It's just randomly have been picked there. It does feel like Chaosbot can bring this game back, but I know for a fact it's not going to happen.
Yeah, I'm not quite sure what happened there. He had more bases, he had more economy. I think he just didn't have the answer to mutas, I guess. Because I don't see why his army shouldn't have been bigger than Chaos than Blanty's.
Probably should have. He had only turrets for the mutas, and the mutas just avoided the turrets as much as they could. And
he had some BCs and some Vikings. They weren't really doing well. The Vikings kind of went off on their own and died one at a time.
And the bases teleport in, and then they can't get out to the front.
And I know it wasn't planned, but look at that siege tank position. Just tucked in a nice little corner. That's never dying to Zerglings. The PF covering it.
Yeah, it's really a nice SimCity setup. I really like it.
Yeah, except for the SCV.
I have no idea if it's random or not. Yeah, I wonder how hard it's to code to first identify that the unit is stuck. I believe that's not hard. You give it orders to move somewhere and it's not moving there for some time, you can assume it's stuck.
Yeah, there's even better than that. There's action errors you can get. So when you give it a command to build something and then you get an error saying I can't reach that position, then you can kind of make an assumption that it's stuck. But you gotta be careful with that because maybe the SCV is not reaching the position because you're on Golden Wall and you're trying to expand to a base that's behind a mineral wall, right?
Yeah.
Because I had code for that to identify stuck workers and then just ignore that SCV for the rest of the game, and then it just made all my SCVs get ignored on Golden Wall.
Yeah, I was thinking more like get a medivac to rescue those stuck SCVs. Once you identify them, you can do that.
But getting a medivac requires work. Just ignoring the SCV for the rest of the game requires one line of code. Well,
yeah, medivac is also...
The SCV problem was solved by the Mutalisks.
Yep, the tank is also going to be solved, I feel like.
Yeah. BC is pretty strong versus mutas, especially if it has some armor upgrades.
Does it? What are the upgrades right now?
I don't know.
Oh, we just missed it.
No
oh,
upgrades.
None. Okay, yeah. BC is like a flying Ultralisk if you upgrade it with full armor.
Yeah.
Not as tanky, but so tanky still. Mutalisks
Yeah.
cannot contest.
And the mutas do like 9 damage per shot, and then the bounce shots do almost nothing once they hit their BC armor. So all the bounce damage does 1/2 damage per shot versus a BC's at least.
Yeah. And it has like when it's maxed on armor yet, it has like 6 armor, I think.
Yes.
Yeah.
Starts with 3. You can upgrade up to 6.
So it's going to take a while for mutas to get anything done against a BC, I think.
Yeah. So when mutas shoot, it bounces twice, and the damage is 9, then 3, then 1. But once you shoot a battle cruiser, that'll get knocked down to 3, 1/2, 1/2.
Oh, the first factor affects the bounce as well?
Yeah, so it affects the bounce.
Oh,
the bounce versus armor is almost useless.
Yeah, that's really good to know. I didn't even think about it. That's actually something to consider when engaging with mutas, which target to prioritize, because if you have, for example, a Viking and a BC, if you target the Viking and it bounces to the BC, you get more value than if
the
you
other way
target
around. Well,
no, if you target the BC, the bounce is not
right.
going to deal damage to the Viking, right? Because the BC negates all of it, and then it gets.
Oh no! The bounce will check the Vikings' armor.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. What I'm saying is any bounce damage that hits the battlecruiser is basically useless.
Yeah, that's for sure.
Although with bots, BCs are usually wandering on their own rather than as part of like a flock of BCs.
Yeah, imagine like having
planetary
with lings.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Don't see that every day.
Well, upgrades are really coming into play here. Planty is already 2-2, and those BCs are still 0-0.
Yeah. Attack upgrade is pretty important for BCs too. Anything that shoots really quickly and has really low damage per shot gets a lot of benefit
definitely
from the attack upgrade.
But making them tanky against low DPS units is you get so much value from that. Just like Ultralisk makes essentially a maxed out Ultralisk renders Marines useless. They don't deal damage to it.
Yeah, the opposite is true. So any of your units that have low damage per shot perform really poorly against high armor.
Yeah, exactly.
In Warcraft 3, armor was always like percentage based, so it affected every unit the same. But in StarCraft 2, it's a flat amount, so adding armor is almost pointless versus certain units, and can make your unit invulnerable versus other units. It all depends on their damage per shot.
Sometimes it feels broken, literally. Like I challenge you guys to take a pack of 3/3 Marines and put a maxed out Ultralisk somewhere on hold position and see how long it takes for those Marines to kill that Ultralisk. You would
I think there's a video somewhere of it was something like 10,000 unupgraded Zerglings versus 1 fully upgraded Ultralisk. And I think the Ultra won.
Yeah, makes sense.
It's killing like 7 at a time, and the Zerglings are doing almost no damage at all. Just 1/2 damage per hit.
Yeah, I think he regenerate faster than what they do to him. Yeah, definitely. And it does splash damage, so it's like cleaving all the way.
There was a bug once where they made it so the Ultralisk, whatever it attacks, it would do cleave damage around the target. So if you attacked a planetary fortress, it would kill all the SCVs around the planetary fortress at the time. Like it kind of made sense in an army, but once you hit a PF, it's just like, okay, there goes my entire mineral line.
Yeah, it really depends on
Someone
the
didn't
radius
playtest
of
this.
the target.
I
Yeah.
heard Zerg players are arguing that it wasn't broken too. It's like, this is how it's intended.
This is
Yeah, keep
fair.
screaming.
This is fair. Yeah. Yeah.
All right, let's. I'm gonna load up the next game, if there is one. Next game is an improvement of the same cheese.
Interesting. Yeah.
So you found a replay of Chaos Bot's cheese, and then Chaos Bot's author found a put up an example of the same cheese. So now we get to double dip a
I
bit.
opened the door and here we are. Oh, against Rusty. Interesting. Terran has actually more means to deal with it. I mean, if the Terran is smart enough to get a siege tank, then the bunker in his corner of his man is meaningless.
Yeah. You almost want the proxy to get spotted.
Yeah.
Once you start that bunker and you gotta protect a marine, you kind of want to bait the anti-proxy code.
Yeah, exactly.
I actually watched this game. This position is pretty crazy.
Okay, so it's not hard coded the same way on each map. This one he walled off with 3 structures instead of 2.
Yeah, he's in chat.
Marine is behind there. You see, like it's shooting at the SC.
Yeah. Merc, are you hard coding those positions or are you calculating them?
If he's calculating them, he's got to make a cannon rush bot.
Yeah.
Because figuring out how to put things up against terrain blockers, you could get so much work done with a cannon rush.
Yeah, that's how you abuse cannon rush. You just wall your probe with pre-calculated. Okay.
Yeah. When I first wrote my anti-cannon rush code, I'm like, okay, the first step is I'll just pull SCVs and attack any cannon I see. And I never had to write a second step because that's all I needed. There was no cannon rush bot that actually protected the first cannon, like hit it, like walled it in behind pylons.
Yeah, usually they do it also to protect the probe from dying. You put it behind a couple of pylons.
Yeah, you can do that, and then just cancel and quickly get the probe out when you need it.
Yeah, or you just leave a buffer for a couple of cannons in your pocket that you just created, like behind a mineral field or something. You wall like each side with a pylon, and you can put another couple cannons in the middle. That is really in your face.
So he fills a bunker and then swaps out the barracks for the factory. And then I think he gets a widow mine and then takes up to a siege tank. And then at some point he switches back to widow mines or something.
And then he grabs the D&D dice and rolls it, and it hits the 7 o'clock base, so it expands there.
And the fusion core is in the middle of the map also.
Yeah, because why not? It does give you map control, you know? You can scout with those buildings. Yeah, I don't think Rusty has a chance at this point.
There might be some legitimacy to building your structures all over the map. I mean, it was the Warcraft 3 tactic. And that's because it just took too long to kill structures. Like if you see a structure, you're not going to sit there with your whole army working on it because there's better things to do with your army.
Yeah, but the mechanic in Warcraft 3 was you are not going for maxing out because there was this weird thing with supply, right? That the higher it gets, the worse it gets for you. So you're fine with spreading your production and being light on production. In SE2, you want to mass up production, and just throwing it in random places might work if you're going to finish the game fast, but if you're not, it's very risky, I think.
Yeah, but I feel with bots, it's much more common for the attacks to be constant. And if there's constant attacking, then throwing structures in random places just for vision or to block expansions, I feel like it wouldn't have much of a deficit. Like in human versus human, you kind of build up towards attacks, and any structures you build on the map are just gonna die for free.
Yeah, I actually used to place missile turrets in like in edges of the map far away from my base, but people used to send like dropships, Medivacs or War Prism or whatever, like on the edge of the map, right? And then it converges on your main. So I would just really far away from my main, but on a place where it's usually going through there, I would drop a missile turret. And the guy against me is like, what the why is there a missile turret here? Exactly, that's why.
It either works and it finds like a dropship or something, or if it doesn't work, it'll be unscouted, so it's not like you lose the missile turret.
Yeah.
All right, so we got Lucid versus Sharpie PvP.
Oh, Lucid went to the dark side with Protoss. Interesting.
Yeah, Lucid P, I guess it is, yeah.
Yeah.
I'm like, why is Lucid wearing PJs? I'm like, oh, okay, I get it. P JavaScript.
Sharpie PvP was like that bot got an update some days before the deadline, and it was rising pretty quickly at some point, but then it barely didn't make it or something, I think.
Oh, that's unfortunate. It's also a bot that keeps improving, constantly getting better.
That's okay. I think he's cursed to never make probots again until he gets a better name for his bot. This description rather than a name is not great for probots guests.
Yeah.
Unless they're wondering what framework he's using.
I wonder. Intriguing.
The confusing thing that had me for a while too is that the C# API is called Sharky.
Yeah.
So whenever someone wrote Sharky, I thought they were just doing a typo and they meant Sharpie.
I thought that too.
Which apparently is a pretty good framework, which means there's two good frameworks you can use for C#. So there's also the Abathur one.
And also Tyr made a framework, correct? Or is that the Abathur one?
Tyr does its own. I'm not sure if it's available for use. It might be like a machine where it's just been. If it were a framework, it might have been turned into a monstrosity by now, or maybe it's just something that Tyr has written just for himself.
I thought Tyr had made a framework in C#, but I'm not sure.
It could be true. I'm just kind of making up what I'm saying. Lucid looks dead.
I don't think Sharpie PvP... Oh, actually, Sharpie PvP is taking a lead here, a big lead.
Well, there's
I mean, when I look at it, I see 2 stalkers against 6 stalkers, and oh, these are all Sharpie stalkers. Okay, never mind. It looks like a defensive posture, you know, the 4 to the right, 4 or 5, whatever.
I feel like we might have missed something. There's probably something that Sharpie wanted to show off here. Maybe added Phoenix usage or something, but from my perspective, this just looked like a one-sided cakewalk. I think probably should have been paying closer attention. Say it again.
But this is just a random game, right? I think.
Is it? I thought there was one left in the queue, or two left in the queue.
No, that was the last one that I queued, was the Rusty versus Chaos Bot.
Ah, okay. 455373. 45. Oh, you're right. We're into the random games now. That's the end of our preset games for the week.
Well, it was actually a less eventful week, but it's understandable.
No,
For
right.
anybody who is watching, the authors were super busy during the last week. The competition was insane for the top 8 spots and top 16 spots as well for Probots later, before the season ends. I really enjoyed watching it from the side, like every bot getting updated every hour, every half an hour, every 2 hours. Like the updates were just, they kept coming. And the race was real. It was really close and exciting.
Yeah.
So
There was
I
actually
guess,
something.
I'm sorry,
Go
go
you
ahead.
finish your thought. Finish your thought. I'm going to change topics.
Yeah, no, I was just saying, I think it prevented authors from like going through replays and thinking about the stream. They were really focused on getting stuff done before the season ends. That's all.
I was actually focused more on replays because there's just like a whole bunch of lower end bots that I was dying to a lot. So I'm like, maybe if I just watch these replays,
Luke,
see why I'm
why?
dying, and see if I can, edit something in my bot to fix this. I can move up the ladder. So like my bot
Yeah.
finished number 2, but I think like I think I lose to everyone in the top 5. It's more that I was better at beating the lower end bots than actually being powerful. So I was watching a lot of replays during that week.
That's quite funny when I think about it. That you're
I had to
beating
put a
all of the
ton of
top.
work into beating Doogie Howitzer. I spoke about Cannon Rush code. I had to write step 2 to my Cannon Rush because Doogie Howitzer, he's persistent on that Cannon Rush. I had a lot of code for that.
Yeah, he's not giving up. That's for sure. And its author, MindMe, is asking when are the letter, when is the letter coming back, essentially. We are now working in parallel on a big release of a few components. Hopefully within the next few days, hopefully even this weekend, a pre-season could start. But I don't catch me on a word for it. Things could get complicated for many reasons. I don't know.
It's
We
a
need
big
to test.
update. I'm sure something will break. So
Yeah.
I'll have to be
We need to
patient
do
on this
some
one.
But we are working on it actively. This is what we're doing right now. Like all of our spare time goes to that.
Is there any ACs available? Like if someone wants to request a game, or is everything down right now?
That's the thing. We also discovered a new bug that we never saw before, that you can't request games right now because your bot is not in any ladder and it's not active. Because it's not in any ladder, it cannot be active. So
I see.
yeah, so we need to fix that.
Requesting games.
I don't think you can try, but I don't think you can request games.
Yeah, but Jensi has been playing an hour ago and 7 hours ago and stuff.
Oh,
What?
there you go.
Let me have a look.
So apparently that game of Sharpie PvP Easy did have something important in it. Because McCarty was asking how many kills is on that Oracle, which implies that the Oracle actually got kills. Which, if we know anything about the botting world, is Protoss makes Oracles and kills nothing. Oracles are like the one unit that never gets anything done. We probably made like 50,000 Oracles on season 2 of the ladder, and they probably have a combined total of like 6 worker kills. So a successful Oracle. There you go.
Yeah, you're right, Spud. Spude. I see that Jensi requested a couple of games, so I guess You can request games. Let me just try one. Random letterbot.
Locos Oracles get a lot of kills sometimes. Okay, you gotta get your bot into pro bots then.
Mhm.
During the tournaments, whenever we see an Oracle, it's just like, oh, there goes 150 gas for nothing.
Hey guys,
Hey, Crip.
Hey,
welcome back.
welcome back.
sorry I had to jump out. Had my dad call at the most opportune moment and demand to stay on the phone
I-
for an hour.
I cannot request games, but Jency can. I am feeling very discriminated right now.
Oh,
Yeah.
that's weird.
And I can only blame myself, right?
Yeah.
That's... Why
Discriminating
can't
against
I
yourself.
request match? Let's see. Oh, maybe I have to specify the matchup. Let's see. This bot, and who did he play against? I'm going to request exactly the same game Jency requested, and see if there's a discrimination going here.
Maybe it's one of the perks of his diamond membership or whatever it is.
Yeah, which means we code for shit because we should be able to request games regardless as admins. Map was it? Chrome.
He's like pushing with like ghost auto turrets.
That's pretty cool.
Oh, it worked. So some work, some don't. I have no idea why. What's the logic? I'll have to look at the logs later.
All right. Well, I think I'm probably gonna head off now.
Yeah, I think I'm going to head off too. It's been a long day, and I still have stuff I want to get done before this day ends, regarding the ACs and all that good stuff.
Yeah.
So
good luck on your deployments and all that stuff.
Thank you, thank you.
Hopefully,
Thank you guys for joining us for another amazing community stream. And we'll
Sorry,
see
You
you
want to
next
plug
time.
me the tournaments?
Yeah, Saturday and Sunday. So this Saturday we've got the SC2AI tournament semi-finals coming up. We're going to have Doctor on the stream for the semi-finals, and there's going to be Swarmbot versus Micro Machine, and what was the other one? Spiny versus Dominion Dog, which is Fiddlina's boss. Could be some really
Yeah.
amazing games. And then Ketruck, hopefully we'll have you on for the final, which is on Sunday, if that's all right.
Yeah, I can do
Nice.
that.
And that is going to be obviously the winners of the two semi-finals, and obviously we're going to have the third place matchup, which is the losers of the two semi-finals. So yeah, could be a lot of fun, guys. Make sure you're all around for that, 9 p.m. UK time.
That'll be on the StarCraft 2 AI channel. Put the link in chat.
Yeah.
The link is in chat,
The link
twitch.tv/StarCraft2AI.
is in chat, and we will announce it on Discord regardless. So if you are in Discord, you will get a notification for it. If you're not on Discord, join Discord. Come join. We don't bite. We're really nice. I promise.
Wow. Most of us don't.
Yeah. Okay, guys. Good night.
Cheers, guys. Catch you later.
Yeah. I'll set the stream up.